try to watch this preview. In the output, it will be in single line. In the output, it will be displayed in single line. That means it is unable to print exactly how it is there in the editor. By default, it will ignore line breaks. Line breaks are ignored. It will ignore additional spaces. For example, you see between characters and between words, one character space is allowed. One space is allowed. So I will save this. You can see that one character space is allowed. One character space is allowed between them. But if you give more space between words or between characters, I am giving more space. I am giving more space. Then it is going to ignore that. Browser will ignore that and it will not apply that space. Only one character space is allowed between words or between characters. So extra spaces are not taken automatically. Line breaks are not taken. So we have to manually add them. So line breaks are added by using BR. Blank spaces are added by using ampersand NBSP semicolon. Non-breakable space, NBSP semicolon. So BR for line breaks. Already I told you. Generally people can write BR/. There is no meaning of that, right? It is self-ending. We don't need to write that. We just use BR. I told you all are same, huh? Right? Now here, BR will put a line break. So we have to manually put a line break. After first line, we have to put a BR. After second line, BR. So you can see now. So after first and second line breaks will come, it will display. Otherwise, it will display in a single line. BR, you can use anywhere you want. That means it's not like BR is used at the end. You can use BR at any location you want. Suppose I want, so this is our first HTML page. This I want in next line. I can use BR in between anywhere. You can add anywhere. So you can see it will get a space. So you can see that it is it sets with a line break. Every BR will put one line break. If I put two BR, then two lines break. That means there will be more space. But we don't prefer like that. For that, we use other techniques like by using CSS, you can put line spacing and all. Why? Because if a paragraph is there, then you cannot put BRs in between paragraph. That will be odd. So we have to define in this way. Okay. Multiple lines, any number of line breaks you can give. So that is line break. Another option is blank space. So here, extra space it is not taking. So then what we do is, here, one character space, we will give normally. This is normal. You can see this is normal. One character space, so it will take. You can see one character space is taken. So extra character space, you have to give ampersand NBSP semicolon. One more you have to give ampersand NBSP semicolon. So 3 character space will come. So here, because one character is already there and 2 character space we added. The same after every character we have to define. And you can see that it is applied with more space there. It is applied with more space there. It is applied with more space and configured with more space. So this is basically how we can define space additionally. So line breaks, we have to use BR, and spaces you have to configure with this option, right? Now, how we can add the other options? So, for example, with this, if I want to present complex information, that is very difficult. For example, see here, suppose I am writing here a sample. I am writing here a div sample C program. And here we are adding another div. In this div, I am writing here hash include stdio.h like this. Now it treats like a tag. I will remove that. And here we are writing main and a block printf. So welcome to C programming. Like this we define. Actually, our intention is to present this on the screen, because you see online several tutorial websites will be there. Those tutorial websites will try to present the content, right? Now, how we can manage that? So technically, when we are presenting this, you can see that in the presentation, it looks all in single line. It looks all in the single line. So this is the complete single line. But here some options are missing. For example, you can see that here it is missing. So what is missing is this include io.h is there. io.h is missing because it treats like a tag now. But our intention is not like a tag, because anything you put in angle brace, it thinks it's a tag. But you have to print this greater than less than symbol. So we have to use symbols. Ampersand LT, this is LT semicolon, this is for less than symbol. Ampersand GT, this is for greater than symbol. And now you can see that symbol comes there. That looks better. So you have to add that manually like this. Another problem is still the presentation is not great. Presentation is not great. So you see, if I have to put line breaks, so many I have to add. BR here, BR here, BR here. This is very complicated. And for spaces, I have to use space ampersand NBSP. So with BR and ampersand NBSP, we cannot easily present this. Then what we do is we have to enclose this into a simple, we have to enclose this into a simple pre-tag, pre. This is pre-formatted. We call this as pre-formatted. In this pre-formatted tag, whatever you type, it will display exactly in the same alignment. Alignment, remember, the alignment will be in the same way. So we don't need to use line breaks, spaces manually. You just keep your content in pre. Now, when you keep the content in pre, so which means pre-formatted. Pre-formatted is nothing but it will not disturb these alignments that you have written in editor. How you written in editor, it will show in the same way. So once check the output, now it looks better. That is pre-formatted. By default, pre-formatted, you can see left indent is moved. Its font style is different. You can change all with the CSS. Generally, it is used with pre-formatted, not only like this, for so many other options. If you want to adjust it, then what you do is you can write style. In the style, we can write pre. Margin left side. So you have to give a negative value. To move left side, that means more than what it is present, you have to give -50. -50 pixels, you can see it will move left side little bit. You give -150 pixel, then it will move left side so much. Suppose I said, so 70 minus, and it will be like this. Suppose 80, 90, then it will be like this. You can keep wherever you want here. And you can apply special effect for that. You can put a background color as light gray. And you can see the background color will be light gray. You can keep width also. Width as some 300 pixel. The width will be adjusted. So according to content 500, okay. We can keep padding also. So we can keep padding, so some 10 pixel. It will put some space around that. It's your wish. You can display in different ways. You can display in different format. So this is pre-formatted. The main intention of pre-formatted, these are all optional, not required. The main intention of pre-formatted is to keep your content exactly how you typed them. So now in the latest versions, what happened is, that is the point I am coming here. Right. So what I told you about pre-format Sanket. Let's tell me what I told you about pre-format. Pre-format means?
The text which we write prints as it is on the website.
As it is on format, alignment.
Alignment.
Have I used the word alignment?
No, sir.
Format.
Yes, sir. Format.
That means format means
it
the
will
angle braces is not a format.
Okay.
Understood? That is why
yes,
concentrate. I told you the format and alignments.
Yes, sir.
So this is very common question because people will not listen properly and they will come with this question, sir, then angle brackets it will take. So you can write angle brackets 100 to 100% in every HTML class, one person will come because you haven't concentrated on my word, because I said that without losing the format. Format means alignments, indentations. Without losing the format, it will display. Now, many times people come, then I can write like this. Why you will write like this? This is not a format. So this is not a format, right? This is not a format. This is not a format. So this is a tag. It is treating like a tag. It will not print the tag. Pre is only for formats. So you have to use the tag in the same way. That's it. So less than and ampersand GT, that's it. So pre-format, that means it will affect only the formats, alignments, spacing, only these are defined. Only these are defined, right? So technically, when you are dealing with such contents, now in the latest versions, the pre-formatted is not only for this. Suppose you are writing something else like div. You write pre And here we write, so name, after that some space, some price, after that some space, so like stock, and below that we given some line like this, below that some TV, so some TV, and some price, some stock, available, like this. I defined something like this. Now you can see that it is going to display it in the same format. It's not just like you have just these programs. Anything you write, it will display in exact format. Alignments, indentation, formats are important here. So technically, this is the format of the content. Now, if I don't use this pre, then obviously it will display everything in single line. It will be everything in single line. So we use that for pre. So these kind of contents you can use pre. But in the latest versions, what they have done is, if you are writing some programming code, you are presenting some programs and code, because these days online compiling, processing, online output generations, so many softwares are available, so many websites are available. That means already I told you, like if I want to learn HTML, I don't have Visual Studio Code, then online you can visit JS Fiddle. JS Fiddle is an online HTML JavaScript practicing website. You can write your HTML code. So we can write your HTML code, welcome. We can run that code. It will show the output and display here. These kind of online editors are available so many these days. Your Java, your .NET, your PHP, all such coding you can practice without installing a software. These are available these days. These are very much, we call them as playgrounds, right? Code playgrounds. And generally, so here for codes, when you are writing a code, then for code, they have given a new option so that search engines can identify. So instead of using the pre-tag, that means we are not using the pre-tag. Instead of using pre-tag, you can use the code. But code is only to tell the search engines that this is code area. This is a programming. So that means this belongs to some program code. But you can see alignments are not changed. It is present, the content placements, the font style changed. That means now it recognizes it as a code. As a code. So, but alignments are not there. That means again for alignments, you have to keep this code in a pre-formatted tag again. Then alignment and code, both options will work. So without using code also, it looks similar. But keeping the content in code makes it more search engine friendly. This is a new option introduced for presenting the content. That means if you are presenting the content and in that content, it's not general plain text. It is some programming you are presenting and you want search engines to understand that this is a program of some programming language, then we can keep that inside the code blocks. So this is done by using code. Pre is done with pre. And code is done by using code. These days, we can handle that by using code and pre-blocks. We can manage that. We need both combinations if you want alignments also in a correct way. Now, in the latest version, they have introduced another variables. This is all for programming. If you are presenting some programming, so we have variables. Variables are nothing but, so for example, see, I have to write some program here. So all these examples are uploaded into HTML tutorial document. You can go through them. All these examples are inside that file, right? Now here we are writing something here like, so X, suppose I am writing, so var, so it is a variable. So where here I am writing var X is equal to 10. Okay. Var Y is equal to 20. I'm using just JavaScript programming or something. You can write like integer or some other programming. That means you can write like int x equal to 10, int y is equal to 20. So, and here we say int, so var z is equal to var x plus var y. So var y, like this, we can present the content. Now, this is the presentation for variable, and you can see that the variables have a different appearance. X is considered as a variable, Y is considered as a variable, Z is considered variable, X plus Y variable. They have a different presentation. Line breaks you can add. So I am adding line breaks here, and you can see it presents in this way. This is especially for the variables, to display the variables in a special format. Mostly this is also for the people who are trying to present some coding in the screen. So then for that, they have given a separate option called var. So we can use different options. We can use code for entire code block. For variables, we have var options. These will make your program so more search engine friendly. Robots can understand easily your code. They can understand your paragraphs. Then they can easily notice the content that you have in your page. So for that reason only, these all new elements are there. On the screen, their just appearance will be changed, but they are not going to do any calculations and return the results or anything else. They are just used to display. HTML is just displaying. It is not going to do any calculations, return the result and show the result. It is just to display. So for showing the presentation, so we have so many new options available. So line breaks, blank spaces, pre-formatted code, variables, and we have sample text also, sample. So sample is defined by using sample for sample. Mostly sometimes when you are writing comments or sometimes you are describing a note, so then we have a habit of configuring that in a sample. We can use that in a sample. So here, so in the sample, we just give a note. So this is only for presentation. That's just a sample. This will keep the sample content and display that in the next line. We have to break. So it will keep a break here. Now, SAMP, S-A-M-P, SAMP is the option used for that sample text. And you see it looks in this way. Font style is changed for this, for the sample text. For the sample text, we just use the option SAMP, so S-A-M-P, SAMP. That is the option, not sample here, SAMP. So this is basically for displaying some sample text and showing the sample text. So this type of content you can display in a simple format and show that. This is to tell that you don't need to consider this. This is just only some sample text, just like comments and notes. So we have to define this and configure this. So these are all the options in the body section. These are all the general options in body section. So when you are designing the body section, so line breaks, spaces, so pre-formatted code, variables, sample text, these all options are very regularly required. Not only that, so this is first important. So I hope everyone understood. No problem in this. Understood everyone? So that means when you are designing any content, so you have to simply keep all the information in a correct format. For that, generally when you are using different editors, you will get problems with the editors. How you are typing in editor, it is not showing in the same way. So for that reason, they have introduced all these options. In earlier versions, we have a lot of options, like even we have an option like abbreviations and all. Now in the latest version, those are not recommended anymore. Instead of abbreviations, we have a new attribute called title. Earlier, we have to use an abbreviations option also, but now we are using title, so that is advanced. Not recommended to use abbreviations anymore. That is nothing but, for example, see, so you have written something like this. So HTML, this is HTML. Keep this in a span. HTML is used for presentation. So this is the sentence we are defining, and you can see that is the sentence. HTML is used for presentation, and I want to tell something about this HTML. So why I kept it in a span? So for this HTML, so span, we can add a title. In the title, I can give a complete abbreviation like hypertext, markup language, hypertext markup language. So this hypertext markup language, so then once you configure this, so that is written inside that span, because we don't want that to display on the screen. So that means on the page, I don't want to display that hypertext markup language. So because it occupies some screen space and it will disturb your rest of the paragraph, but user should know the abbreviation of this. Then we will just put like a title, then see what happens. When I move mouse onto it, the title will come. So you can see that when I move mouse onto that, then this title will come as a screen tip. Just it will display hypertext markup language. So we cannot change the color effects of that particular, so font size of that particular tip, because that is depending on browser. You can display such tips manually by yourself with the help of CSS and JavaScript. But earlier we have to use this by using abbreviation concept. People have to use an abbreviation option. But now we don't need to use that. We can simply manage that by using simple title. You can write any lengthy summary by using that title. You can write any lengthy summary. That means you can put any lengthy summary about it. So for example, this is in a div we kept. So that is one in the div we kept, and I have another div. So pages are hosted on server, like this I am writing. And I can highlight this server. So for example, span. So we have kept this server word in a span. You can display in any way. You can keep a star mark, or you can write here. You can write here where span is present. So background color, so some yellow. We want to highlight that. That means the span background area is highlighted there. Now when I move the mouse onto it, I want to display some description about it. Then just you can add here a title. You can add a title. And here you say, so it resembles both hardware and software. It satisfies the client request by sending and receiving data. And you can see that this is nowhere going to display anything on the screen, that lengthy sentence, whatever you have written, and it can display that. only when you have moved the mouse pointer onto it. So you have used the mouse pointer onto it. So you can use anywhere. Why I have used span here? Why I have used span here? Do you have some sense on that? Why I have used span here? Why I kept that word in a span? What is the purpose of span? What is the purpose of span? Pool chand. What is the surface of that span? Huh? Span to highlight. Huh? That's what you learnt about span. Huh? What is the purpose of span? That's what you learnt about span. Huh? Full chand. Tripartite, right? What is the purpose of span? Span purpose is to display the content inline. Am I right? Inline content. Inline container. So I can keep the word in div also. Can I keep the word in div also? We can keep anywhere, no? We can keep in anywhere, right? In a div or in span. Where you keep is not important. Where you keep is not important. Right. So at this point, where you keep is not important. The point is, so why you keep div and span? Don't think more than what I have told you about div and span. If I written anything in a span, that means to keep inline. If I keep anything in a div, to keep block. Display block, display inline. Am I right? Display block and display inline. Div uses display block. Span uses display inline. That's it. So don't relate this div and span with any another concept. And don't think extra about that. Span means side by side. Div means one below another. That's it. So you can I write this in a div also? Can I write this word in a div also? No? I can write this in a div also. I can write this in a div also. No? But if I write in a div, what will happen? What will happen? So it will come in a next line. Huh? So as per our general common sense, we know that we want to display side by side, then we use span. Any container. So in a span or anywhere. So our attribute is important. That is title. You are displaying the title for that, right? So now here, the concept is when you move the mouse pointer onto it, then it is going to display that sentence there. So whatever the sentence you written about that, it will be displayed. You can highlight in various ways. You can highlight and configure that in various ways. This is one approach of configuring it and defining it. So this is, earlier we have to use abbreviations and all. Now we can simply put a title. You can just enclose that in a title and display that in a title. We need to use an attribute, title. Title is used everywhere. Not only for divs and spans, you can use for paragraphs or you can use for images, pictures. You will see in various other occasions also, right? These are the first important options you need to understand about the body section. How to define the line breaks, blank spaces, pre-formatted contents, variables, sample text, and all this. After knowing about the general basic things, next we need to understand in the body section, the more options like headings like paragraphs. So like block quotes, and images, tables, lists, so many things are there. We will see one by one. Another important in the body section for displaying contents. First, I am telling you displaying of contents. So we have these special containers like breaks, pre, code, var, sample. We also have options like field set and legends, field set and legends. Field sets and legends are used such containers for presenting the content. Generally, suppose we are writing some content programs or something like just now you saw. Suppose we are writing here a field set. Field set. This is a field set. In the field set, we are writing a pre. Okay, in that we put a code. Okay, we write here. So hash include. So ampersand lt std io.h and ampersand gt. Here we are writing main and we are configuring some printf. So welcome to C programming, something like this. Now here you can see, so the field set by default keeps all your content in a frame. You can see it keeps everything in a frame. Field set keeps everything in a frame. A frame will come around the field set. You can see that there is a frame. Generally, when you are defining different categories, so you have to define that. That means, suppose, so another field set we are designing. In that, we have a div, or suppose you have some content here, some sample content we are displaying. In the sample content, yes, so we have the sample content here. In the sample content, so we are defining some message like, so this is used only for presentation, something like this. You see the field set will put a box everywhere. You have a box. So we can add some breaks. Suppose temporarily, I will put a break. Okay, we have a break. This is field set actually. And in the field set, we can arrange our contents. And usually field set have a legend. Field set have a legend. Inside field set, we use legend. Legend displays title for that. Title, I'm just giving a title for this. Title is nothing but for the legend, I'm adding title. This is sample C program. And you can see for this, I will add a legend. In that legend, I will say note. And you can see that legend will come like this. Legend will put some content like this. That means you can see a simple title is given for that. This kind of content is used for displaying various categories of content on our screen. We can do that by using legend and field set. Field set have a legend inside it. So it can have only one legend configured inside it. Field set can have only one legend can be defined. Legend alignment you can change. So suppose this legend alignment. So here I said align is equal to center. I'm changing that alignment to center. And you see the legend alignment is center. You can change the alignment left, center, right. You can change its appearance also. Of course, by using styles, we can change the appearance. So what I can do is in the style here, I can add style for legend. For the legend, I am giving so background color, some dark cyan, some color, and color. So color is white, and padding is some 5 pixel, and some font size. So as some 20 pixel, some font weight as bold like this. And you can see that it is going to display that appearance in this way. You can adjust according to your requirement. You can define according to your requirement. Suppose I am not using the font size and it will be normal. You can put, so suppose you have, so option like border radius 10 pixel, then you can see the border radius will come. Appearance, your wish. You can give any kind of appearance and you can display the context. So that legend is used for frame set. So for example, you see, so frame set. For frame set, I said border as 2 pixel solid. So that means the frame set, so border is not applied. You can see that the frame set we are designing, the border, not frame set, field set. Yeah. So field set. Now here, the border, you see, it is defined in this way. And we can adjust the size, color, solid, dotted options like this, we can apply and we can define. So here we can use the appearance and change the appearance according to our requirement. So that means dark cyan. This will give the appearance. You can change the thickness. So, and you can change the appearance of the frame set and display your content. This is presenting our information in field sets and legend. This is field set. So that is appearance, how you can configure for that. You can add that according to. So anything you can change, just what you have to know, CSS. So anything you can change. So with CSS, we can make changes by using all these attributes. Right? So we can handle the attributes, we can configure the attributes with CSS and we can display in different styles. So those you will see in CSS how to handle them, but initially the purpose of a field set and a legend, how you define a field set and a legend. That's the basic approach of designing field set, purpose, how to use that. That is one important option to understand. Next, once you know the field set and legends, now you have other options like headings, paragraphs, block codes, how we can present them and work with them. That we will see in our next session, right? So this is enough for today. And I given a task. Tomorrow I will check how many of you have done that task. Then tomorrow we will discuss about the other options in the body section, paragraphs and other options. Okay, right.